All right, if you've ever had a water leak in your house, you know how much damage it can cause and how frustrating it is it can be to fix it and how long it can actually take to make those repairs. So in a healthy home, it's really important that if you have a water leak, you got to identify it fast and you got to be able to make sure that the mold doesn't start to grow in your house. So in this house, we took some extra precautions and we installed a really cool device. It's tied up with our security alarm panel that alerts us whenever we get a leak. And today I actually want to walk you through and I'm going to show you room by room what we did and why we did it and how the system works. So right now I'm in our kitchen and I'm going to show you some wiring that we did. And all of this is to install what's called a WaterBug. It's made by Windland Electronics Inc. And this is a water leak sensor. So how that works is we have our security alarm system that's up inside of our utility closet. But what happens is we go all the way back to our security alarm system and we run low voltage cables down to the locations where we want to detect leaks. And what we've decided to do in this house is put them everywhere we got water fixtures. So in the kitchen, what we did here at the kitchen sink is we brought out cables down here, and you'll see that there's actually two of them coming in here. And the reason they're here in twos is because this is a zone. So there's two ways to run these things. You can run them in zones or you can run dedicated circuits to each location. So if I get a leak in my kitchen and I set this up to run in zones, I'm going to get a notification that says from my alarm panel, there will either be a chirp or it can also notify back to my alarm company telling them that there's a leak in the house, and then they notify me. Or I can do both. You can set up a siren to go off in your house as well. There's all kinds of ways to do it, but the zones will notify me and say, hey, you got a leak in the kitchen. If I was to run a dedicated circuit down to here, a dedicated cable, it would say you got a leak at your kitchen sink. So depending on the amount of space that you have in your security alarm panel, that'll determine how you want to do this. So if you got a lot of space, you can run dedicated to say your kitchen sink, your refrigerator, and your dishwasher, or you just say, hey, I got a leak in my kitchen sink, or in my kitchen. I'm going to go back and look in my kitchen and find out where those leaks are at. So with the two wires, this is wired for a zone. You can see that here. Now we also decided to come over to our dishwasher, right where we have our cable, or our MC cable coming out that's going to supply the high voltage to it, and we run another one out here. So this is going to sit right behind the dishwasher. So I don't know how many times you hear about a dishwasher flooding a house. I've had one where we had a cheap brass fitting where the supply line came in and got a pinhole in it a year after it was a brand new unit. And just cheap brass that wasn't dezinkified. And these sensors will stop all of that. As soon as that leak starts, there's two probes in the bottom of this. It senses moisture. It completes the circuit, fires that signal back to the alarm panel that notifies you what's going on. So it's super cool. And the benefits of this too, you'll see a lot of these that have battery operated ones or the portable ones where you got to plug them in on the sides. You don't have to have an outlet by these. You just run a cheap low voltage cable and you never have to worry about the batteries. So your alarm panel, if your alarm panel's got power to it, this system is working. And there's different notifications and settings and that you can put on this. So it's really cool. Okay, so one other thing we did here at the dishwasher to make sure that we don't have any mold, we don't have any potential for leaks. So if we get a leak, it's solved with a drain. So we're going to create a sheet metal pan that's going to come have a back on it. It'll have two sides and a small lip on the front here, maybe just like a 3/4 or ½ inch lip so you can get your dishwasher over the top. And then that pan will have a small enough hole in it that's going to slide into this 2-inch drain. And that way, if anything comes in here, it just goes straight out. But we still get notified by our leak detectors, letting us know we have the leak so we can solve the problem. But this allows us to not have damage. This is one of the most common spots that you get a leak and just problems in your house. I've had this happen in my own house. If the dishwasher go bad, we had to replace flooring, all kinds of wood flooring because of this going bad and having a leak. All right, so over here at the refrigerator, we have another cable here, and you can see it's the end of the series, so you only have one cable, and that's coming out 1.5 inches off the floor, just right at our plate. It'll drill a hole in the drywall, and then we're gonna have another sensor sitting right here. So if you get any leaks out of this box here, you're gonna get that alarm to go off, and you're gonna be notified of a leak. So that's what we did in our kitchen. I have the other thing we have is underneath this home, right about in this area here. there is a pressure tank for a well. And we have a dedicated cable right here that's coming down through here into the crawl space over to that pressure tank, and then that'll do the exact same thing. We're gonna have a pressure sensor down there. If we get any leaks in that well, in that area on top of the platform that we have for our pressure tank, we'll be able to be notified. We have to put a little dam around the actual pad that we made down there for it, the plastic pad, so any water will dam up and then trigger that thing to go off, and then we know we got a leak. So instead of waiting like years, you can have a small leak for years and never know about it underneath your house. This eliminates that problem because you're going to get the alarm notification and be able to go there and solve the problem. And that one's dedicated, so it'll say, hey, you got a problem with your pressure tank under the house, because there's nothing else underneath there. So I want to take you over, and we're going to walk now. We'll go over into the laundry and the bathroom, and I'll show you how that, or the downstairs bathroom, and show you how that worked out. Okay, so over here in the laundry, you can see down behind me, this is the washer side right here. This is another leak detector cable that's coming down. You can see it's a home run. So we have a dedicated one of these inside the laundry space, and that's going to be underneath the washer side. So we're actually set up for like a heat pump washer dryer for later down the road, but this will just be a traditional washer initially, and this is going to go in right here. So this will tell us, hey, you got a leak in the laundry room if that goes off. And we're just going to, you can see we've held it up about, I think this one's up about 5 inches, or it's going to go 4 or 5 inches, and we're going to drill right through the baseboard and then come down, because I wanted it to be up high enough so I could have a pan come up the side here, a waterproof pan that would allow us to not have water getting back if we had a problem in here, because we have a pan we're creating with a drain. So this is another drain here we put in this room in the laundry in order to catch anything. If we ever had a bigger flood in here, that would go away. We're also using Den's Armor Plus, which has fiberglass and not paper instead of traditional drywall, and that's going to allow any moisture that was to come to hit here or do anything, it's not going to be soaking into that paper and giving food for the mold to grow. So that's something that we're doing in this whole inspired laundry, the bathrooms, all the way through the bathrooms, and even the walls behind those, which we'll go over later. But this is going to have a pan here as well, but I think we may make this out of vinyl and roll the vinyl up the sides, and then come out here and have this will be higher, the flooring, either wood outside or an LVP, but we'll have a slight lip here that's going to allow the water to dissipate into this drain instead of going out onto the floor out here. So just to make a kind of an easy transition, that, or we'll end up having to do some type of a tile with a dam out here. We'll build up maybe a 3/4 inch dam that'll keep the water in this space. So what we did on this one was we brought this down in series again, so you can see how this is looped out right here. This is coming out only on one of the sinks, because what we're going to do is we're going to take that, tie this on, and we'll have a sensor over here under this sink and one under this sink, and there's a shelf kind of in here. So we'll decide if we put it on the shelf or we put it all the way down on the floor, whatever's going to make the most sense for basically alarming us sooner rather than later on the drips of any leaks under here. But you can see this is looped, so that means we're just going to get a zone. So we're going to get a zone alert that says, hey, you got a leak in bathroom number 1. Let's say, call it bathroom number 1. So that's here to take care of the vanities. And you can see again, we've done it on the toilet. So this is coming just right on the top plate, 1.5 inches up. We're going to drill the baseboard and then just have this thing come out. It's going to sit right behind the toilet. You'll never see it. It's going to be here. So the only concern would be that you have to lift it up if you're cleaning behind. So that might be something to consider. But this will be behind the toilet area, and here's your angle stop here. So that takes care of that one. And then over here for the shower, so we went to our wet wall. So this is where you're going to get the leaks. If you had a traditional valve, these valves are actually outside of the wall. So the only leak that would happen is in this fitting inside the wall right here potentially. But if you have any type of valve system in here, what I wanted to do is I wanted to catch that leak and get notified of that leak right away. So you can see this dropping down here. So this is the end of the run here for the bathroom. So that's why there's only one, but it's still part of the series. This is going to get an access panel right here that we'll cut in later on the back side, so we can see this and we can get to it. And we're going to set that sensor right either down on the plate or right down here on the actual subfloor. So if any moisture gets in there, we're getting notified. So even if that wood gets wet and soaks the wood, that moisture will make that that continuity between those two probes on that sensor, and then it'll allow it to go and talk to the alarm system and tell us, hey, you got a leak. We'll open this up and then we can see it, and then we'll be able to address it right away. So that was really important that we put this in these wet areas. So now I want to take you upstairs and we'll look at bathroom number 2 upstairs, because we did something on that one for the tub, and then I want to show you also the utility closet, how we did that one. So let's go upstairs. Okay, so now we're in bath 2. This is upstairs, and we have a vanity cabinet that's here. So the vanity cabinet runs these 84 inches this way. And you can see that we have, again, we've done the leak detectors here on the sink, and we've come out with our waste lines here. We'll spread these out so there's one under each sink. It's in series again, so you'll see the guys label them so they know what it is. So this is number 2 on it. And yeah, so we got that one there. And then this is the next one that I want to show you for the tub. So if you look here, if you come on this side, you see this is the other wet wall on the tub, and that's right here. So a similar thing, this valve is outside the wall, and so is the head and everything else. But if you had a regular valve, it's inside the wall. This would cover you for that too. So this is where the cavity's at that has the drain for the tub. It's all in here, and you can see this wire here is coming out at this point here. And so what we're doing is we're going to put a sensor back in there. It has a staple in it right now, but what we're going to do is we're going to put that back in the subfloor all the way back underneath the tub there by the drain and by those water lines where the valve would drip down, so we get a notification if there's ever a leak. Okay, so then again, we're here at the toilet area, and you can see we have another one here at the toilet. This is the end of the run of the cable, so we have just a single cable right here. It's not looped at this point right here. But this is going to be, again, 1.5 inches off the ground, and then we're going to drill our baseboard. It's going to come out right between there. So it'll sit behind the toilet. Now into the utility closet, because we got a lot of water in the utility closet. So we have our water heater, which is back over here. There's a tankless water heater. You can see it's set up for that right here. And what we've decided to do is this is going to be, this I held up higher again, just like the laundry room. This is up about 3 inches. So we have a sensor here that'll essentially cover where the water heater is going to be. And this is up high enough so I can get a pan to come up here, and I'm above my pan. And then I'll put, it's either going to be vinyl or it'll be some other type of material. Maybe we'll do a Schluter, something like that. We still have to figure out exactly what we're doing. But once that's done, this will be above that. And then we put another one over here by the drain. So this is where I was talking about having another pan here, and we'll have some type of a threshold, or this will be recessed a little lower than our material outside. And this we wanted to put one by the drain, so if anything hits or flows to the drains, this is flat in here. It's not tipping, it's not moving anywhere like you would do like a shower pan. So it's going to build up a little bit. So once it gets to the drain, we know it's coming to the drain eventually. So we wanted one right here just in case. We've got a whole house water filter sitting here. We got a water softener here. We got an RO system here that's in this space. It's it's a full space, and it's all filled with items that have a lot of water in them. So this zone will be called our utility closet or utility room, and that will notify us if there's ever any type of a trigger inside this space. So I want to show you where all these tie in now. So we didn't look at the alarm panel, but this is in the utility closet as well. And you can see here, take this out, but this is where we have all of our security coming to. We got to vacuum this out a little bit still, but this is where all of our low volt comes for security. So this is our windows, this is our glass breaks, this is all of our motion sensors, and it also includes our water leak detectors. And we have some propane alarms that combustible gas detectors that run back here that we're going to go over in another video. But this is all it is. It comes right here, loops all together, and then it gets all tied together by your low volt guy whenever you're done with the project and you're trimming out. So pretty easy, inexpensive wire, just a little bit of labor, a little bit of planning, and it works out really well. If you're building a healthy house and you want to make sure that you don't have water damage and you don't have any mold growth, this is really inexpensive insurance to make sure that you get notified if you ever have a leak in your house. So I'd highly recommend putting it in. So even just pre-wire it Even if you don't want to trim it out right away, if it's not in the budget, make sure you get it pre-wired so the possibility of doing it later is there. So it's a really good investment for the time and just the longevity of your house and your health. So I hope that was interesting, helpful, maybe something new. If you'd like more information about building a custom home, building an ADU, or doing a whole house remodeling project, you can visit our website at freemansconstruction.com. If you'd like help with any of your real estate needs, either buying or selling your home or your land, you can visit our real estate company's website at freemansrealty.com. So thanks again for watching.